Good Wednesday afternoon, guys. Welcome to GBN Live. You're live here on your favorite social media channel. And this week we are proud to have with us Mr. Joe Kohler with ADT Security. And guys, you're in for a good one today. Stay tuned. GBN Live is next. Hey, Joe, welcome to GBN Live. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Todd. How's it going?
I am super good and getting better. So excited for today's episode, talking about security and ADT and some of the things that they have in store for us. I want to remind our guests, if you're watching live today, just please type in your question in the comments, and we'll try to get those on the air. Or you can call us and be on live on the air at 843-602-9880. Joe, let's get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, that kind of stuff. I think you and I have known each other now for at least 20 years, or pretty darn close to it, right?
Oh, I think it's more than that at this point.
It may be.
Probably since the early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s. Yeah.
Mid 90s.
Yeah. So, but tell us about yourself.
I am originally from Reading, Pennsylvania. I have been here in Myrtle Beach, or the Myrtle Beach area, since I'm 14. I was on a water slide, and when I got off, my parents had a house.
Ah, well, there you go. Which water slide was that?
It's one of the ones in Surfside that doesn't exist anymore. That was back during the time when there were 120 water slides.
Yeah. We were talking a couple of weeks ago. I believe it was Chris Honeycutt that was on the show when we were talking about the water bogging there at the end of Ocean Boulevard, right at the front gate of the airbase. So
I remember that one. Yeah,
that was cool. My grandmother actually dated the guy that did that. Dwight Myers was his name, that owned that water bogging there. But anyway, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Sorry to interrupt.
Let's see. I graduated from Auburn University. I moved back here. I have a wife. I have an adult daughter. She and her husband live in Bloomington, Illinois. They both work for State Farm. I like cars. I like festivals. I like it to be warmer than it's been lately.
Well, there you go. Well, Joe, look, you work for ADT Security now, and I did a little research on the company because I know ADT's been around for a while, but I didn't realize that they are almost 150 years old. They started back in 1874.
ADT actually stands for Atlantic District Telegraph. We started out putting little buttons in people's houses in Manhattan so that our little guys, because the little ADT guy used to be a big advertising thing, but the ADT boy would run out, take down whatever you wanted to say to your friends in Omaha or wherever, and he'd take it back to our office. We'd send it off as a telegraph. And 6 years after we started out, Mr. Bell invented the phone, and we needed a new gig. So we took all our copper wire and we started using it to help people defend their homes. So we called the cops instead of calling the ADT guy to come out and arrest the bad guys.
Wow.
You fast forward, I've lost count. It was 144 when I started, so it should be 149 years this year. Yeah. We have 6 call centers all throughout the United States. There's no place in the continental United States we cannot provide you with security with.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know they've been around for a while. They're a very reputable company. Let's talk a little bit about some of the new technology that's come out recently. I know you and I were talking about some of the things the other day, and they really are starting to. It was the same, it seemed, for several years, but now they're really starting to get into some cool new features. So talk about some of those for me.
Yeah, ADT tends to move slowly on some of the new developments. Our thing has always been that if you open and close your business with dirty hands every day for 30 years, at the end of 30 years, your system will still be working. That being said, you can now lock and unlock your place remotely. You can open and close your doors remotely. You can set your lighting inside and outside the house to do pretty much whatever you want. It can tell you when your kids have come home. You don't have to be there. Um, and that translates to business. I've got a customer who has over 100 locations at this point. All he has to do is sit down at his desk in the morning, open up his app, and he can tell that every one of his stores is open, up, and functional who opened it.
Wow.
You can talk to people through the cameras. You can listen to people through the cameras. I had a guy at one point in time said he wanted to shoot the intruder with a laser. I can't actually provide the laser, but I can, in fact, provide the switch so that when the door opens, the laser will go off. So there's that.
Well, now, part of this new home technology, I guess the smart home technology is, I think, is what they refer to it. You can actually activate one of the boxes that go and plug into an outlet. So, for simple terms, let's say that you are on the way home from working third shift and you want coffee.
Yeah.
You can turn the coffee pot on from
It'll make your coffee for you. Or
right. So I guess if you could plug that laser up to one of those, then maybe you could activate the laser.
yeah, you could in fact activate
Yeah.
the laser. It would have to have a fairly low power draw, so I don't know if it would do anything except upset the cat, but you could do it. But it's the same way. You get in your car, you start to go to work, and if you get outside of a geofence zone, it'll say, "Hey, do you know your garage door is still open?"
Oh, wow.
Or alternately, you can set it up so if you get outside of a geofence zone, it'll just close your garage door. And if something goes wrong with that, then it'll tell you, "Hey, I tried, it didn't work." It's just
So
really,
that's why they call it smart home, because it's smarter
yeah,
than we are.
it depends on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. Just about whatever you think of, it can just about do at this point in time. Say you had a business. You don't even have to be at the business. You've got to line up at your counter. You can get an alert on your phone that people are lining up at your counter. So to get somebody out there to take their money. Or alternately, again, if you had a business, you can go ahead and set it up so that what displays are getting the most attention, where people are spending the most time in front of a different display. And like I
That would
say,
be great information for point of sale
if you
purchase.
were doing a retail, yeah, if you are one of the people that really wants to drill down on this sort of thing, you can get all the data you could possibly ever want out of our system at this point.
We were talking something about that too. You have a way to put the sensor on the door that actually tracks how many people come and go from your business.
That's the sensor sort of will, but you can make the cameras do it.
Oh, the camera can do it. Oh,
Yeah, the
wow.
cameras to do it. What it does is it puts down a virtual tripwire, air quotes,
Right.
a tripwire, and then it just counts. And every time someone goes past it, it's like, okay, there are 34 people in the business now, which has a lot of options, but became really important during COVID. Even churches are having to use that. I'm sorry, we have 106 people in the church now. Everybody else is going to have to go sit back in the car and watch it on TV. So there are all sorts of uses. It's
One
just
of the reasons I wanted to bring that up is that in today's world, business world, the more you know about your client and what they're doing, the more you can focus and fine tune your marketing efforts. You can focus and fine tune what hours you may be open, how many employees you need to staff at different things. So that counting those the customers like that, I'm sure that you can get a report out of the app that would show you when your busy times was, and that not only helps a business to schedule the staff when they need them, it also would save having, like, my daughter is a hostess at a restaurant, and the other night there were literally 4 tables in the whole restaurant, and there were 5 hostesses working. Now, 30 minutes later, the place was full. But that information would be so good because it not only helps the business to do their marketing the way they need to, but it also helps them to better staff, and which in turn saves them money.
yes.
That's pretty cool. So, Joe, you've talked a lot of times about that you're looking for a client in Arizona because that would be the furthest that you've
No,
been out there.
I actually I have two in Arizona right now. The first one
Oh,
is Chandler, Arizona. I would like to go beyond because it's I've had that one for about 30 years now. It's time to expand again. So I need
yeah,
somebody in, say, Washington State or California,
or Alaska.
but
Yeah,
Alaska would be
yeah.
good. But yeah, if I get once I get to that, I'm pretty much done. So it'd be better to have like a baby step in between.
I got you. I got you.
But
Well,
as of right now, I have accounts North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. And that's
wow.
just in the South. There's some others sprinkled around. I've got some in Kentucky. I've got some in Ohio. Ironically, I'm from Pennsylvania. I don't think I have one there yet.
Yeah. And you're from Pennsylvania. You should know some people up there.
Yeah, you know
Talk to your
how it
family.
is. All my
I do.
relatives are Poe.
I understand. Well, I know that ADT, so many people think of ADT just as being a security company, just because that's what they did for so many years. But they also offer several different things that are uh, newer and improved technology. And I know I'm kind of beating around the bush a little bit, but
Not
specifically
necessarily.
like smoke detectors, carbon
Oh
monoxide
yeah,
detectors.
yeah. We
We
do.
talked about the smart home automation, but tell us about some of the other things that may be available.
I'm okay. I'm a big fan of smoke and carbon monoxide detection in the house, and not to replace the existing, particularly smoke detectors you have in the house. Those are still great, but ours actually call the fire department if you've succumbed or alternately just simply aren't there. We had a situation, gosh, I guess it's about a year and a half ago now, where a couple in Myrtle Beach had left their house to go to the beach, and they didn't realize that they left a pot of beans on the stove, and it set their smoke detector off. They got almost to the beach. They realized that there was a problem where to get back because they have pets that they love. And in addition to destroying the house, it would have probably done in the pets if it had been left go.
Yeah.
We are partnered with Google Home. So there's a whole lot of things that you can do with your Google Home app that we can do. If you have, we have home health devices. And I didn't realize this, but apparently home health devices are a bit of a status symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a status symbol. So, back in high school when you had to have the right sneakers, well, now you have to have the home health device, so the other old people you hang out with will think you're cool. Um,
Yeah.
we just announced a partnership. I don't really even understand with Ford. We're going to start doing security on cars.
Yeah. I heard that. Yeah.
And let's see, if you have multiple, can you access all those cameras from the same phone/computer?
Yeah. We do
Yes.
have a Facebook user there, and you're exactly right. And I was just
Yeah.
getting ready to get to that. The question is, if you have multiple locations, can you access all of those cameras from the same phone or computer?
Yes. And now you can actually do it from the same app. That's something we up until, well, we have several different types of cameras, but now we've gotten to the point where we can do the more traditional, the hardwired cameras, and the cameras you see advertised on TV all the time. The hey, there's somebody in your yard cameras. We can do all that from a single app now.
Yeah, that's great for a business that has multiple locations or multiple venues, or even if someone from Pennsylvania has a vacation home in Myrtle Beach, they can monitor both of them. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and it
Well,
literally goes back to what I'm saying. You can look at the accounts in Arizona right now if you want to. I
oh
can't,
wow,
but the customer
yeah.
could.
Sure. Well, guys, hey, it's time for our commercial break. Let me remind you, whatever social media platform you're working on, because we are live on Facebook groups, Facebook pages, LinkedIn, Twitter, and of course, 2 YouTube channels. And so just type in your comment and we'll try to get those on the air. Joe, when we come back, I'd like to discuss the process of getting started to get your next security system. So you guys stay with us and we'll be right back after this message.
Hi, I'm Jess the San. I've been a canine liaison at Grand Strand Law Group for, 30 years? What's that? You don't believe me? I meant 30 dog years, of course. First rule of lawyering, read the fine print. Anywho, my humans at Grand Strand Law Group have a combined 20 years experience. I know, not as much as me, but that's in people years. So yeah, still pretty impressive. Real estate, estate planning, or probate, you need GSLG.
Grand Strand Law Group. Trust us, we have a dog.
Great Business Networking grew out of the idea that by creating lasting friendships within the community, we can make the community even better.
I was looking to network with professionals and to be able to refer my clients to somebody that I trust.
Well, it's really important to trust the members of the group because we really generate quality referrals, and to know somebody, be friends with them, and get that qualified referral is the key to success.
It is networking, but it doesn't feel like networking, and that is important to me. I come to the meetings, I have fun, I make great connections, and I help grow my business.
GBN, these are some of the best professionals in the market, and having that resource available to me, that's priceless.
Well, GBN is a network of business professionals that build long-lasting friendships that will not only grow my business, will grow yours as well. That's what referral marketing is all about.
GBN really is the most important marketing for your business. Check us out today. Welcome back to GBN Live. Today with us, we have Joe Kohler with ADT Security. He is a member of our Carolina Forest chapter, and Joe was actually the first member there other than myself. And so we greatly appreciate you being a part of our networking group. Joe, if somebody wants to get started in a security system, find out what options are available, find out the timeline of how it gets there, what you guys recommend that they may not be thinking, how do they start that?
Well, the preferred method is to call me.
Right, exactly. That's why we have you on. You're the expert.
But yeah, no, that's the way we prefer. If you could do it local, if we do it locally, it does tend to get you a better price and probably a better experience. But you can also call our 1-800 number, and they will schedule someone to come out and talk to you about your needs. I have found that this is the one. Everybody seems to know what they want for security. I am the only person I've ever met. You walk into a place and someone needs, I need 153 motion detectors, and you have to talk them off the ledge. It's usually you can get something done fairly economically without being crazy elaborate. I tell customers all the time, we'll get what you need to get you comfortable to start with, and then if you want more stuff, we'll come back.
Right. Well, first of all, I want to make the point that it's a free consultation for you to come out and inspect the home and see what they need to do or whatever. So that's important. But you came out and gave me an estimate for my homeowners association, and we actually reduced the number of cameras that we have currently because the ones that we had were outdated, and hopefully we're going to get that installed here very soon, as soon as our board gets everything approved. But the point is, with the new technology, you're actually going lower. And another point I wanted to make is, and this is especially true for homeowners, if you have a security system, most of the time you can have a huge savings on your homeowners insurance. And so by doing that, that basically ends up giving your security almost for free, if not more, if not putting more money in your pocket.
And you definitely you don't want to be something you're not going to use. That is something I encounter so many times. You talk to somebody who's had a system for X number of years, and you find out that they haven't even been using it, and that's frustrating. I mean, particularly if someone's paying for something they're not using, and that's why you want it to be as user-friendly as possible. You want to be able to activate and deactivate it by your phone, or also you want it to automatically turn on at 9 o'clock at night so you don't have to worry about it, that sort of thing. And we can do all those things.
Which brings up a good point. I've heard so many people say, especially when they first came out, that they were I don't want to say scared, but maybe the word intimidated is a little bit more appropriate about the smart home control panel, because it's not like we used to have the little panels where you just put in your code and hit on or away or home or whatever and then be done with it. This allows you to not only do that, but you can program those other smart home features like turning the coffee pot on, turning lights off, turning the garage door. I am sure that the technicians that come out to
We'll
install
go
that.
through it very thoroughly with you. But that goes back to what I said. If you are timid about it, there's no problem with just starting out with what you feel you need. And as you get more comfortable with it, we can do more stuff.
Yeah. And so we talked about too that you can, the same control panel that you have on the wall at home is pretty much the same features, not maybe the programming, but the features that's on your cell phone. So you can unlock doors, you can open the garage doors, you can turn the lights off, you can override the system if you need to. One of the things that I had looked at one point was that, which I thought was a great feature, is if you have a pest control company coming to service your home and you're at work, you can create a code that they will open or use to open the door. And then as soon as they shut the door, that code's no longer good.
Yeah, no, you can take the code right out. My boss's boss moved here from South Florida and moved to Charlotte. When he moved up, before he put his home on the market, he had a handyman come in, do some paint touch-ups, that sort of thing. And the handyman said, "Go ahead and leave me a key." And he's like, "No, I don't have to do that." And the guy called up. He said, "Okay, I'm here now. What?" He said, "And give me a second." He's standing in the office in Charlotte, and he unlocked the front door. And he opened the garage door. He said, "Okay, go ahead."
Yeah.
And yeah, the handyman is now an ADT customer, so apparently it was fairly impressive.
Yeah.
Similar, we did a funeral home in Florence, and they have cameras you can talk through now. And 2 o'clock in the morning, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Some nice people brought the deceased in for the owner of the funeral home. She unlocked the door for him. She let him in. They put the dearly departed up all nice and neat, and they turned around to leave, and she said, "Thank you."
Knowing you for as long as I have, that's something you and I would do. So I know that would that was funny. That would be cool. So,
but it's once you get used to it, it's like so much of this stuff. It's very user friendly. Like you said, you can put it in for somebody for just a single use or just a couple of uses, or you can make it so somebody's code only works sometimes. For instance, if you have someone who has no need to be back to your business, if you have someone who has no need to be in your business at 2 o'clock in the morning, their code will only work from say 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh, there you go.
And vice versa. You have someone who never needs to be back in your place again. You can have their stuff out of the system by the time they're in their car and gone.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good for security for the business as well as your home. You can do it for the same thing for your home. Guys, if you're watching live, let me remind you that if you have a question for Joe today or for GBN, you can just type those in your comments, and we'll be glad to get those on the air. We've got a couple more questions here before we wrap up. Joe, we talked earlier about the senior issues, the health systems and stuff. Let's talk a little bit more about those. I think that more and more retired people are moving to Myrtle Beach. It's always been a retirement destination, but so many people are moving out from up north because of the weather and everything else. Talk to us a little bit about those and what's available.
Well, okay, we have the home health products, and we have different levels of home health products. The most common is the one that you can wear around your neck or on your wrist, and then there's another part to it that goes in your pocket or your purse. Those are positioned as home health devices. They're not necessarily home health devices. For instance, say you know someone who's a realtor, and they can take it with them to have them on their person when they're in a place. So, and out of everyone else, but I know our people are specially trained. You can hit the button and they'll talk to you.
Yep.
And I mean, it doesn't have to be a crisis.
Yeah. We got a question here that says scary stories exist about people hacking baby cams. Can you speak to the security of your wireless networking for cams?
Okay, I'm going to preface this by saying if it's on the internet, it can in fact be hacked. That being said, we always keep our security up to the with the most current anti-hacking devices. We haven't had a problem with it so far.
Yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer that people that sell Norton antivirus and McAfee virus and stuff are also the ones that create some of the viruses. So there always seem to be a step ahead. So it's always good to
Yeah.
take that extra precaution, and it relies on the homeowner, not the security company. So just keep that in mind. Having a protected firewall would probably be the way to start there. So I will tell you one thing going back to the home or the health solutions that I found interesting is that if that button is activated, it can not only call 911 for you, but it also can call a family member for you to let them know that there's an issue there as well.
Yeah,
So
and
they be
you
on the way.
set the protocol.
Yeah.
So it's who you want to be called. And that goes back to what I'm saying is they're very experienced. They can talk you through things. Our manager over that division has been and talked to us, and he'll just get in the meeting. He'll hit the button and they'll talk to him for a little bit. It's like, hey, yeah, no, I was just checking to make sure everything was fine. But that is a specialized division in our case, so they are very experienced and they have all the notes and everything. So if the concern is, again, like I say, if you're a realtor or you have a kid in college, you're worried about them. That way they can have something so they can always feel secure, that sort of thing. It doesn't just have to be, I've fallen and I can't get up, or, sometimes grandpa doesn't know where he is, that sort of thing. It can be a lot more common usage. Another one is delivery drivers.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
One of the things too that my daughter and I kind of set up several years ago is a password or a passphrase. So, and this is not mine because I'm not going to share that, especially on a video or a show like this. But just to give you an example, if she is somewhere out with friends and I call her just to check on her to make sure that she's okay, she could say something like, "Don't forget to get bananas at the grocery store tonight." Or don't forget to pick up a bag of ice for the party tomorrow, or something that is just we know what it means, but it's kind of out of the context of the phone call. And that's kind of the same thing that I would recommend with a security system like that, is having some kind of a passcode or a passphrase set up, because that does make a difference.
Everybody has what we call a verbal identification code. And everybody in the house can have the same verbal identification code. Everybody can have their own. There can be, if you back to a large corporation, the boss can have one for every location, and every location could have a separate one.
Right.
So
you even have the capability of doing fingerprint entry points, correct? Like a touchpad that does your finger. I read that somewhere.
I'm sure maybe that's somewhere. I don't.
Yeah, that may be. He froze up there for just a minute, but I don't know if you can still hear us or not. But that's something I read somewhere that's something, and maybe they're just testing that in some of the markets. Or whatnot. So I was just saying that may be somewhere they're testing it, but I thought I read it on your website.
And like I say, it's entirely possible. Like I say, I'm sure we have it somewhere. So
yeah. All right. Well, Joe, hey, before we leave, the last question I want to follow up with here is, why should someone call ADT over maybe some of the other companies, especially? I don't want to knock anybody, but especially a smaller company or a much smaller company.
It really, and there's, there's two distinct business models in security. There's the national company like us. The advantage of us is we have 6 call centers. If anything takes out 6 of our call centers, we've all got bigger problems. It means a meteorite has hit the earth and we are looking for a cave to live in. So we are always there. That's had been our slogan years ago, is ADT, always there, and it's the truth. We're always there. If you have a problem, someone will pick up. The other advantage of us as opposed to another company is that we have a full-time service team, dedicated service professionals who will go out and fix your problem. It's not something simple we can talk you through on the phone. It's not a situation where you're having a problem with your system and you have to wait for someone's brother-in-law to get back from fishing before it can be fixed. They're out there. They're paid to be out there. You can talk to them right now if you need to.
Right. Well, guys, hey, Joe, thanks for joining us today. If you guys want to get in touch with Joe to find out a little bit more about getting an estimate or installing your security system, you can reach him at 910-398-7953. That's 910-398-7953. Joe, once again, thank you, buddy. Good to see you as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate it, Todd. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Hey, guys, next week on GBN Live, we have Hunter Furrow, who is a financial advisor with Prudential, and he will be here next week on the show. And so remember, if it's Wednesday, it's GBN Live. Y'all have a great week.